Demographic segmentation. Okay, so the first one is age. Children who are aged 4 to 12, for example, influence a great deal of the consumption patterns of the family. Like toys and cool drinks and movies and restaurants, they will usually say, we want to go to Spur because we can play in the little playpen. Or we want to watch this movie, Mom and Dad, this animation. Or we love this cool drink, so please buy this one. Or, so they really influence what their parents buy. The youth market is worth 4 billion rand, for example, per year. And the above 40 market is worth 300 billion a year. Not only worth 300 billion, that's a lot more than 4 billion. So you can see it's worth it to separate markets based on age because they're worth quite a lot. Therefore, age segments are very attractive. Now let's see if you can think which aged people will watch these various channels on DSTV. The History Channel, of course, people who are older. Cartoon Network, of course, people who are younger, like kids. Sports Channel, it's mostly by men, probably, so there we've got a bit of a gender element. Animal Planet, difficult to say. I think it could be any group of people, but maybe the younger teenagers would enjoy Animal Planet, or maybe a bit younger than teenager. Movies, teenagers love movies, right, and young people, young adults. MTV, of course, teenagers and young adults as well. Nickelodeon, that is also a type of a children's channel. And ESPN is a sports channel that's also probably watched by men aged probably 25 to 45. So you can see different channels on TV will target different age segments of the market. And then entertainment now, usually girls, young and maybe middle-aged. Okay, then we have gender segmentation. There you can see products for girls and products for boys. Marketers of products like clothing, cosmetics, personal care, magazines, jewelry, footwear are often segmented by gender. Hotels, for example, realize that 40% of today's travels are females. So there are some hotels who focuses on females, like you can see in that advert, introducing a new initiative for our female guests traveling alone, enhanced security and additional amenities for ladies staying solo. So they'll have special rooms that are designed just for females. So they are segmenting, they are targeting a specific female segment. Brands that, for example, were traditionally marketed to men, like cigarettes and alcohol, are now also attracting women, and brands that were initially focused on females are now also being targeted at men. Maybe just a different version of the product, like Nivea skincare. Usually there was only creams for women, but now there's also creams for men. Okay, income segmentation. Income influences consumers' wants and needs and determines their buying power. Many markets are segmented by income. Okay. For example, housing, clothing, cars. The more money people have, the more expensive the clothing and the cars and the food and the banking becomes, and so on and so forth. Okay, so African Airways makes use of income segmentation. It has developed 4 segments. They have the premium, which is the most expensive. This is where the people get free lounge access. They get priority check-ins. They have the special line where these business travelers usually can walk through quickly, and other special services. Then they have the select group. They also have lounge access. They can select their seat at the time of their reservation, and they also get Voyager miles. Then you have the classic, which is the economy class. They have to select their seat at check-in, and that when they cancel, they have to pay fees. And then you have the saver, which is the lowest economy class, and they don't have any extras at all. They just get given a seat. And if they cancel, they don't get any refunds. Okay, then we have ethnic segmentation. So based on the premise that consumers who belong to different ethnic groups or different culture groups behave and consume differently, for example, clothing, food, drinks, and so on. I wonder if you can guess from which tribes and ethnic groups these wedding dresses come. I wonder if you know where that one is from. That's the Xhosa tribe. Sheesh, now I forget. I think that one is Sotho. I think this one might be Zulu, but I'm not sure. I'm sure some of you will know better. That one is, is it Sepedi or Venda or... Again, not sure. But the point is, you get the point, I think, is that different ethnic groups will have different clothing needs in this case. They might even eat different types of food. Okay, then we have family life cycle. Okay, this is a series of stages determined by a combination of age, marital status, and the presence or absence of children. So it's very valuable segmentation variable, and purchasing patterns will differ depending on the family life cycle. So you'll see the first one is married, then married with children, or married parenting, then young children, then married with teenage children, and so on. In the bottom example, you can see they're falling in love, they're dating, then he proposes, then they get married, then they have their first child, then their child is graduating, and then they get old and they are grandparents. So that's the family life cycle. So there's a nice figure in your textbook, figure 6.1, which is very helpful in understanding the family life cycle and the different products maybe that people would want. Like, for example, when he's proposing, he's going to buy an engagement ring. So he's going to go to a ring shop. Then they're going to need the services of wedding planners during that phase of their life. Then, when they have their first child, they're going to need things like nappies and cots and baby clothes. Then, when they go to university, they're going to be spending money on school fees. And eventually, when they get older, they might spend more money on, pills and medication and doctor's appointments and so forth.